This totally ignorant girl does this evil with the wheelchair user in the restaurant, and a customer ends up seeing everything and getting scared. The restaurant employee yells at him, calling him a dirty beggar, saying that she had already told him not to show up at the restaurant anymore. She picks up the wheelchair and throws it out into the street. The man is sorry for his wheelchair, but he can't even get up, and his arm hurts from the fall. And the woman, still angry, claims that she has already told him several times that she doesn't want people like him in the restaurant, but the customer who is there pushes the woman, who questions whether she is crazy for doing this to her, and the client scolds her, saying that you don't treat a person like that, but the woman claims that she is just doing her job, but the client continues to defend that man, even without knowing him. The woman is offended by the slap, claiming that this is her job, and she cannot accept these kinds of people there. With great difficulty, the man at least manages to sit down and questions why it is wrong for him to be there in the restaurant, and explains that he is just trying to get the money for his food. But the woman doesn't care about any explanation from him, because according to her, she doesn't accept this kind of filthy people like him, and she then yells at the customer, claiming that she needs to understand that she runs the place that way. But the customer doesn't put her head down and knocks the woman to the floor, who questions whether she is crazy. But the man interrupts, apologizing to the woman, because he didn't want to cause a ruckus, and claims he's leaving, but he needs his wheelchair to get out of there. But the client says that he doesn't need to apologize for anything, and who has to do it is that woman, and the woman just wants to know how that client can still defend that man, offending him with several words. And the customer justifies that he is an honest person, that he is trying to earn his bread in an honest way, without hurting anyone. But the restaurant employee says that if the customer goes to defend him, she will no longer serve him. She says that he will be attended to, because he's a paying customer. She grabs the woman by the hair and pulls her to the counter, ordering her to take down her order immediately. And with no choices, the woman agrees to take her order. Then the customer goes to the wheelchair user, asking if everything is okay with him, and he claims that he is, but that he needs help getting up. And the woman says she's going to find someone who can help him up. He thanks her for the help, and regrets that he is an invalid, so he wouldn't have to work for the woman, and he explains that he only asks for alms because it is the only way he can eat, and it is a necessity for him. The woman understands him and gets up to look for someone to help him up. Then she meets another man and runs to ask for help, because she can't lift the wheelchair user by herself, and the man readily agrees to help her. The two of them together lift the wheelchair user. Later he is already in the wheelchair, and the woman tells him that she has a surprise for him, making him very curious about what it can be. She hands him a box of chocolates, and hopes that this will help him earn his own money. Then she explains that he can sell the candy in the box. And once he sells it all, he can buy another one, and so on, so that he can earn his own income and become a big businessman. She then takes his sign, claiming that she will help him modify it, then asks for leave, promising to come back soon. Minutes later she returns with a new sign, announcing the sale of chocolates, and being sure that this will help him a lot. The man is touched by how much this woman is helping him, because now he can earn his own money, in a more dignified way, and so he asks what he can do in return for her. But the woman doesn't want anything in return, she just wants him to undertake and be a great man in life. He thanks her wholeheartedly for her help, and he tells her that he is going to sell that whole box of candy, and then double the sales, always aiming to increase until he can set up his own candy store. The woman believes that he will sell everything, and says that he should just believe in God and have a lot of faith, and that in a few days she wants to see him in a big store. She advises him, telling him not to stop anywhere, regardless of the difficulties. And before she leaves, she has one more present for him, and for good luck she will be his first client. And he is very happy for all her help, letting her choose the candy she wants. The woman hugs him, wishing all the luck in the world to that man, and that everything goes well in his new business, and then leaves. The man then begins to announce his sales, thanking each customer who shows up to buy his chocolate, and with each sale he feels even happier and more excited. He doesn't stop advertising. The chocolates in the box get smaller and smaller. And he gets happier and happier for making his own money. Until finally another man approaches him, buying all the remaining candies in the box, and the wheelchair user thanks that man. He didn't even expect to sell that well on the first day, claiming that with that money he can already double his sales, so he decides to buy more merchandise. But while he is on his way to the restaurant, he runs into the woman who humiliated him, and she, out of pure spite, throws water on him, wanting to humiliate him even more. He questions what kind of person that woman is, and wants to know why she is doing this to him. But the woman says that this is for him to learn, because she lost her job because of him, and calls him filthy. He tries to explain that it's not his fault, but she just thinks that he wants to play the poor guy. He says he's just trying to earn an honest living. And the woman is sarcastic when she says that she feels sorry for him, and then she says that now he is on the street begging, that he has found another place to beg, and he justifies that he did this until he found a more dignified way to get money, but he doesn't know how he will sell from now on, since his sign is all wet. The woman takes his poster and crushes it in one piece. Then she yells at him to pay attention to what she says, and says she doesn't want to see his face ever again, because he has ruined her life. The man begs her to just let him go, just to clear the way for him to pass. When she goes to try to assault the wheelchair user, she is stopped by a man, who questions how she has the courage to assault a wheelchair user like that. And she angrily tells him that the man has ruined her life. The man orders her to stop, and demands respect from her, claiming that the boy is a wheelchair user, and she explains to the man that that boy has ruined her life, because she lost her job because of him. And the boy explains that that woman assaulted him at her place of work. He tells that the woman kicked his chair and he fell to the floor, and that a girl defended him inside. So he thinks that the whole situation must have reached her boss's ear. But the woman thinks that the guy is actually trying to take the blame off him, and throw it all on her, because in her mind it's all his fault. And the man orders the woman to explain the situation properly. Then the woman tells the story in her vision, saying that a girl attacked her inside the restaurant, and as her boss saw the whole situation, he sent her away. But the boy explains that the girl only defended him because that woman was attacking him. And the man believes him, telling the woman to get out of there, or else he will call the police, because all he is seeing is her assaulting a wheelchair user and he won't admit it. But the woman challenges the man to do this then, since he is the good citizen, and claims that he is meddling in an argument that is none of her business. So the man says that he will then call the police, so that they can resolve the situation. Just then the woman starts to get scared, asking him not to do that, claiming that there is no need for him to do that. But the man ignores her and manages to pass the address to the policeman, and asks them to come as soon as possible to the informed address. The woman then yells at them and runs away. Then the man reveals that he was not actually calling the police. The boy thanks the man for his help. And the man says that the woman is crazy, but that he is there to help, because we should always help each other. And the wheelchair user thanks him once again, because he didn't know what would become of him if that gentleman didn't show up. The gentleman then comments that he realized he was working selling chocolates, and wants to know how the boy's life is at the moment, because he saw the woman assaulting him and didn't understand anything. He starts asking where the boy lives, if he has a house and family. Then the boy tells his story, claiming that he is alone and has no family, and that he lives in an abandoned house nearby, which was his chance to at least have a roof over his head so he could sleep. And the man continues to question, wanting to know what it is like in the house he lives in, and he explains that he doesn't have any furniture, because the house is an unfinished construction site, that he sleeps with his head against the wall and always wakes up with pain in his neck. The two men introduce themselves, and the man tells that he is part of a charity organization, and that in this organization they help people like that boy, who are lost in life and have no one to help them. And the man suggests that he can take the boy to the organization he is part of, because at least then he can have his own corner where he will feel comfortable, that he will have a bed, food, someone who can take care of him, that this way he can have a more dignified life, and that if he accepts, you will take him there, and he will be taken in. The boy can't even believe it, claiming that this is too good to be true. But confirm that it is true, and say that if the boy has the willpower, you will take him now. And the man immediately accepts, thinking that he will have a bed to sleep comfortably. So in agreement between the two, the gentleman claims that he will take him to the facility immediately. While being taken to the institution, the boy can't stop thanking God for the help he received. The woman is at the bank, where the clerk says sorry, but the bank will need to take her house. And she wants to know why she is knowing this now, and the banker explains that she has been in debt for 6 months. She asks for more time to get the money, but the clerk tells her that she already made this request the month before, and that now there is nothing more he can do, and her house now belongs to the bank. She cries in desperation, asking them not to do this to her, because then she will lose everything she has. She begs for more time, so she can get the money. But the banker is adamant, and suggests she pack her bags and leave the house as soon as possible. She keeps begging and crying, explaining that she has nowhere else to go. But the banker doesn't even empathize with her, saying that he needs her to leave, because he has other clients to attend to. Soon the next customer enters the room, and the woman runs out of there in tears. He asks what happened, and the banker replies that it was just a customer who lost her house and left sad. Then the man tells them to soon settle the matter of her house. And the banker explains that the house that the previous client lost is the same house that they are negotiating. The man is saddened by this, but tells them to get this house paperwork sorted out soon. And the banker says that the documents are ready, and everything will be settled that very day. Sometime later, the banker is trying to kick the woman out of the house, but she is asking for some time. But the man says that he has no more time for her, that he has nothing else to do and the house already belongs to someone else, and that she must leave the house immediately. The woman does everything she can to make the banker leave, because she has nowhere else to go if she loses her house. But he says that he needs to go in, because another client has already bought the house and she has to leave. She begs him to listen to her, and doesn't want to allow him into her house. Soon the new owner of the house arrives and questions what is going on, breaking up the fight between the woman and the banker. The banker explains that as he had already said, the house belongs to the boy, and is trying to evict the former owner. But the boy says that the woman doesn't have to leave, because that house will be hers again. And the woman is surprised. Then the boy tells her that she doesn't remember him, and that she helped him a long time ago. And she then remembers that he is the boy in the wheelchair at the restaurant, and he confirms that it is he. But she is in doubt, since he doesn't use the wheelchair anymore. Then he tells her that it all started when she helped him with the box of chocolates, that he started selling one box, but as the years went by he grew, and today he owns a chain of candy stores. And he explains that with the business of entrepreneurship, he has invested in properties, including her house, which was doing business with the bank. The woman could not imagine that with such a simple attitude, it would become something so big. And he says he's going to give her this one, because it's the least he can do after all she's done for him. So they hug each other emotionally,